Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dakota and I couldn't keep away from it, so welcome back to the Stanley Parable Deluxe, or the Stanley Parable 2, depending on your input from the last episode. So the current time is 10:52 a.m. Okay, so 10:52, go ahead and confirm that. Hang on. I'm sorry, did I miss the memo? Before we get started, can I just say something? Sure. Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you booted up the game. Yeah, you know, I have to. A lot of people don't take the steps seriously. They just leave the clock set at 12 and call it a day. You're very, very correct there, but you're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. That's how I know that you care about this experience. You're paying attention. I don't even have a... I'm having a stroke. I don't even have any way of knowing if the time you're setting is correct. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see the screen, I'll just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whatever time you want. Even if it's not the correct time, you've earned it. Alright, I'll get you back to the video game now. Okay, so that's an interesting little wall break that they have in there. But, yes, we are in the Stanley Parable 2. And we still have Bucket, stuff like that. We're in a horror game now. Trying to think. So we got the confusion ending last time we played, which I don't think was an official ending. I think that's just where we ended off the video. We played for almost 2 hours, so maybe we'll have luck this episode and beat it. So, yeah.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What could it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
The bucket, yeah. So we're going to comply this time because in the last one we didn't.
And entered the door on his left.
I'm trusting the bucket, you know. The bucket is our comfort item, etc., etc. Oh? How can we find them? What we know is small floating objects have appeared across the office. We have the synergize our resources to ensure their retrieval. Agenda, how do you tell one? You spotted one. Oh, I like that. There will be a reward for finding them all. Trust the completionist instinct. Why am I saying true? I love that. They just completely switched the office around, and I absolutely adore it.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Did we do this ending already? I don't know if we did. No, I think we did. We just didn't get the code. Maybe.
Stepping into his manager's office.
Oh, no. I remember.
Stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Hey, if you want to see the last episode, I'll leave a link to it down below.
Bucket guiding him. Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
And if you like what you see, hit the like button, subscribe, you know, do your thing. I hope you're having a good day. Okay, we already collected the collectible from right there. Now, the biggest difference was we went to the escape route instead of the main route down here. And I think that's how we ended the last episode. So we didn't fully complete the compliant route. Alright, here we go. Speedrun out.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
We went that way last time. We're not doing that. Now, there's actually, you could either turn it off or on when you're up here too, which is interesting to think about. So I might do both of them.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Oh yeah, I can climb up this. Just fall all the way down there. Alrighty. Let's get through this together.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley handled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
The bucket's supposed to be reassuring me, though, you know?
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the
Maybe
bucket
it was.
been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
It really is now.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it.
Not
His
the
own
bucket.
life in someone else's control.
The bucket specifically, yes. It's crazy.
Tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Wait, so we can actually shut it down completely, or there's these buttons? What do those buttons do? Hold on. I assume there's an order, correct? There's a button up there. There's one right here. That's 3. That's 5. Maybe you do it a certain way. 1, 2, 3 was right around the corner right here, right? 3. I can't actually get to number 4, though, while the gate is closed. Okay. So I think this is more of like a choice of if I turn it on or off from the inside here. Mind control idle awaiting input. I could either turn it off or turn it on.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Okay, you know what? I want to see the bucket ending for turning it off, and then I want to come back in here and turn it on the next playthrough. Because I'm very curious. I didn't do it. I didn't click the on button the first time playing without the bucket, so...
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over?
Is it finally over? Am I free again?
Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away.
It's beautiful.
Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth.
Okay.
Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and... Well, wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket.
Yes, at least he has the bucket.
To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley thought. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Oh, is that it? Oh, I'm so curious. It just kind of threw us right back here. All right, well, I guess we're going to turn it on. I'm in speedrun mode right now. 100% sheer luck. Yes, it is 100% very much logical narrator. Okay, so now we're going to turn the mind control thing on. Now that we know that we can't officially do that ending, this is the one of the few things that we haven't done yet. So we also haven't went to the where you go across to see Stanley's ex or whatever it was, his ex-wife.
And the bucket walked straight ahead through the
we haven't done that way yet with the bucket.
Mind control facility.
So after this one, if we can, we're gonna go down that route, just see what happens. Now, I'm not doing really a full completion run, I don't think. I'm just kind of going with the storyline and just exploring it, you know? But again, you wanna play this game? Link to it down below. Yeah, Mr. Bucket, I'm really gonna need the reassurance after this one. Honestly, given that the time... Wait, the mind control was turned off already. We had the option to fully turn it off or turn it back on.
Someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
The bucket is always... Bucket is life. And now we're gonna do the big one.
The reality of his past began to sink in. Stanley decided that this machine would never again exist. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this?
Oh.
Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Wait, what? Oh, that is so cool.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
I am quite happy, you know? Oh wait, that was one of them? Wait, so how do we... Because in the mind control facility, there's all those numbers, right? Maybe it's open now. Maybe I should leave the bucket behind. No, surely I shouldn't.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
We have one more scenario with the bucket, and then I'm going to go back to mind control.
Telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Yes.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Nope.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. A cargo lift. Yeah. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Now, we've already been through that ending,
why or how
but this one we haven't,
speaking to him.
With the bucket.
It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
100% what the bucket asked.
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here. Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Yep. I will listen to the bucket. Bucket is always right.
Now pick up the phone, said the bucket. Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
All right. I trust the bucket. I 100% think the bucket is the way to go now. Just...
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Whoa, we're in a new apartment. This is actually a really pretty setup. I like this. I like that a lot. Hi, bucket. Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket. Press I to talk to me. Or to take me to work with you. Okay. Is there anything else in here for me? Okay. Well, I can't interact with anything.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Ooh. We're here to work now, right? Wait, what? Why am I getting an icon? Oh, it's right there. Take me back home with you. Yep.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Bucket, we gotta go back to work now.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man. Press T for us to go back home.
You see, he's not listening.
Stanley's in a dark
He's still
place.
Taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
That is beautiful. V to ignore anyone in your life except for me. Oh man, the bucket is just in control.
I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Yes, it does. You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Relive the same day with me over and over, says Bucket.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket.
This is
Why
beautiful.
do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Oh, is he starting to believe it too? Go home, or to go home, to go to work, to go home, to go to work, to go home, to go to work.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Narrator? Did you just try to steal the bucket from me? Go back to work, Stanley. Narrator? Was that it? That was pretty cool.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure.
Yes. Alright, so I'm trying to think of what other scenarios we have. There's the one where we can go into the basement. And then there's... Let's see, so we would have to take the right path and then go back off the path. There's also this one right here. Now, I don't think we've been through this one yet. With the bucket.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that.
But we had the bucket.
In such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe,
it's the bucket.
He thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all.
No.
That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket.
This isn't
someone
my bucket.
else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd.
It's very
Now
odd.
he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's
Bucket?
me, the bucket.
Bucket, where are you?
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special
None of this is
bucket.
right.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He
You're
had
not-
to
you're
find
not
the
real.
bucket. He
None
had
of
to
you are
return
real.
to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from.
My
The
God.
real bucket was inside of him all along.
I found the
It was
bucket.
incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Bucket.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Okay.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of
Didn't have a bucket.
course, he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought.
All
And she
over a
hugged
bucket.
her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Okay. Okay. That was an interesting ending. Quite an interesting ending, yes. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This is different.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
That hallway was different. Should I go left or should I go right? See, if we're being compliant, then it kind of works out a little bit. So let's see what happens, you know? Okay, so we're just right here. So going down takes
Coming
you
to a
to a
staircase,
same result either
Stanley
way.
and the bucket.
Bathroom, we haven't gone in there yet.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs?
Maybe
Or
that's
what
why
about
I wasn't progressing.
Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. That's it. Can I open this one? Oh my god, I can go in here? There's an elevator and a panda. Oh no, not Mr. Panda. Business strategy. God. I never knew that this was here. There's an elevator? Stanley? I'm sorry. I think we had a misunderstanding here. If I press down again, what happens? Oh, it just doesn't go anywhere. It's just a broken elevator. So all I have left to discover is the mind control area.
There's logical explanation.
I think. Because it has all the button combinations in there. So I guess it's just a matter of finding out how do we start it, because there's obviously 5 buttons, but there's the one that's completely blocked off entirely because of the gate. La-di-da-di-da, going this way, same as last time. Alright, so we're back in the room. Look, I'm being completely honest with you, I looked it up, and all I saw is you didn't have a bucket, but I missed the whole sequencing. So I'm gonna just go on a limb and assume that I can't do it with the bucket. But, yeah. I did find out those buttons don't do anything. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play through the scenario again, and we're back at the beginning. We're not gonna take the bucket that time. Alright, so we're back in here.
Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
Okay, bucket, I can't take you this time. I'm sorry. I gotta do an experiment, and that's what I'm doing. It's so weird not to have the bucket, though. I kind of miss the bucket. Bucket was my friend. Maybe this goes somewhere now. Now that you don't have a bucket. Nope, nothing. I was kind of hoping that it would have had something.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Nope. I'm sorry, narrator. I just...
isn't healthy. So he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Thanks, narrator. Yeah. Trying to think what other places we've missed. I mean... Let's see, we did the main path all the way without the bucket. Did it with the bucket. We're not able to leave if we have the bucket. It gives us birds. Okay. Oh, so apparently you can actually fall down there. When I was looking to see the possible, like, ending or whatever, see if maybe I was just in a loop. Apparently you can actually accidentally fall down there and you get an achievement. So for the most part, it seems like we're getting a lot of the same dialogue in this, but that's alright. We're exploring. Yes, precisely. However, I'm so curious, how do you get this room? Like, what do you do in this room? Console disabled. Okay, so it comes over to this computer, right? Okay, and then this is powered by, you know, that, maybe, or it's coming up to this one. Very likely coming up to this one. My way of thinking is maybe that turns the power on in here, right? Because the bucket was a different scenario there, so... Maybe. You know what? Maybe, because the doors don't close. Yeah.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Ooh.
Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Oh, I did it.
In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
I don't know the combination.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go.
Oh, it's open.
But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not?
How much?
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Oh my gosh.
What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking
that's what
on
I'm trying to
every
do.
little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
Nope, I don't at all.
You're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching the cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle.
Yeah.
30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the journey.
Oh, it just says goodbye on all of them.
I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Was that it? We got a different office.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Whiteboard ending. Oh, I can't do that. That is too obnoxious.
A strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
I assume that there's like some type of ending with the dog one. Maybe.
Stanley clutched the bucket
No.
tightly to his...
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Why is that way open? Something's not adding up here.
Stanley took the...
Alright, so here's the thing. I think we've pretty much covered that area, right? Unless that door right there in the very center opens. We also haven't jumped down with the bucket yet either. However, I believe going down in that, the thing that goes all the way down, I'm pretty sure that takes you right back to the bucket scene. Now, there was something different about this. I think. No. We're kind of just put ourselves back in a loop, I think. Okay, so I'm officially at a point that I'm kind of lost. So if anybody has any tips or whatever that I might have missed in the video overall, let me know in the comments below, because I really don't... When it tells me to turn around, I want to do that.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
So that's what we're doing. See if something's changed.
But of course, Stanley and the bucket thought better of it and realized they simply had too much to live for.
If this light is on, call 914 immediately? That's kind of interesting. Nothing changed here though, so you know what I'm gonna do? Give me that secret ending. Give me that secret ending.
But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall. Now, what to do next, Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here.
The bucket cushioned
so they set up
his
a little
fall.
couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here, a bit cold perhaps. After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis. But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending.
Yes, I need to.
This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was inconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually.
I love it.
It's what the bucket was counting on.
By the way,
The two
thank
of them
you,
waited
Wade.
for a very long time.
Thank you, Lord Minion 777, for commenting on the Mark stream. That was pretty cool. So, what happens from here? Considering it said the bucket cushioned the fall, that's making me think, hey, that area where you can jump down, I feel like you can survive that.
Stanley
I have to know. I have to know now.
And here it was.
It said it cushioned the fall. I guess we're about to find out, aren't we?
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the...
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms.
Man.
How deeply touching.
I was hoping that maybe there was something down there that I could have, you know, worked with. But, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave this video off here. If you like what you see, hit the like button. You want to see more, definitely do subscribe. If you guys have any ideas on what other endings I can go to or achieve, maybe leave me like a path note or something in the comments or on Discord. We have a Discord down below as well if you want to join that. It'll be under, I think, my links, which will go to my website, which has like all my links because I didn't want to like flood the description with everything, but it has everything there, quite literally. But, wow. I think we've achieved a lot there. And I really like that we went with a couple new endings, and I'm just waiting to see, I guess, what is the final ending? There's got to be like an actual ending to this game, right? There's got to be, but if you have any leads, let me know in the comments below. If you like what you see, the like button, subscribe. Other than that, you'll enjoy the rest of your day, night, whoever and wherever you may be. That's all I got for today's video. You'll enjoy it. And yeah, English slipped.